I'm going to quickly finish up this card. We were at the point of adding some Distress Oxide spray, and it comes with pigment that settles to the bottom. So you want to roll your bottles, and it's best to keep your cap on. If you keep your cap on, you can even shake it and hear the metal underneath. But if your cap is off and you shake it, you're going to have spray escape there. So as long as you don't see dry, or not dry, but pigment on the bottom, you're set to go. Now I have we did the resist spray already, and now I'm just going to add one of the accent colors in the middle. I also have a smiles there, a word that I want on a spray. I'm going to actually start by spraying that. Okay, and I'm going to just experiment and put a little bit of this new color called Wilted Violet on here, just to see what happens when you add a little bit of a new color on top. Because this is just like Distress Oxides, it can layer if it's going on top of dry. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to buff it up a little. Keep my smiles. And because we have the resist on there, you'll see the pattern of the stencil. And I didn't do the stencil everywhere, but after you do this, I think to bring out the colors and the sheen a little bit more, add some distress glaze. And this will get it all nice and shiny for you. Now the first one I did had a flaw in it, but because I'm going to add a sentiment or a word to the front of my card, the flaw won't show. It's actually under this beautiful card here. Okay, so I've added a little bit of distress glaze, and I'm going to buff that. And I just use a dry sponge, and some of the color does come off a little, so you want to be careful with that. That you don't contaminate your jar with color too much. So I'm just buffing off that spray a little. And I sort of like that. Okay, now I'm showing you how to put the cards together. So you start, this was my first one. See how I have a flaw there? It just looks a little earthy, but that's okay. A little distressed, but a word would easily cover that. I've added double-sided tape on the back, and I'm going to put that to my next layer. Now, I'm going to, in your kit, you're going to have a double-layered thanks for your card. You may use any die cut or any Cricut cut you want for your card. You can even make a stamped image and layer it. A slimline card has lots of room to add what you like. So I'm just centering this on a mat, making the card nice and secure. And it's not straight. I try to hurry. I'm not careful with the straightness. This one might get trimmed if I can't get it off. I have 3 pieces of tape on there, which is quite a bit. It's a really humid day, so it seems to be giving for me. Okay, straighten that out a little bit. Try again. There we go. That looks straighter. Could be my cut is crooked. Let's see if I'm square. That one's square. Okay. Not sure if this card will get sent or not. Not sure if I like it. Okay, let's move on to this one. On the back of that paper, you would then add your layered, your 2-sided tape too. You could use other adhesive, but with cards, it's nice to make sure it's good and secure going through the mail and all. And I'm not going to attach the sentiment because I really want to think of what I'm going to put on the cards. So I will mail them. But I just have a 7.5 inch by 8 1/8 inch piece of cardstock. And I'm centering that and adhering it. Lovely. Now, you really could put any sentiment you want, and I'll think of that, and you'll see it when we have our actual class. So even the broken one here, we can fix. Now you can use any stencil that you like. You can make any stencil. I got one for my birthday that I just can't wait to try on a slimline. It's sort of like a half of a mariner's compass, and I think that will look lovely on a card. And even though I made this and it's very thin, it can be used over and over again as long as you wash it off instantly or put it in water when you use the resist spray. So those are the techniques I'm going to teach today, and you can play with what I sent you in the kit, and then you can take this technique and make it your own by changing it. But I think this one you could even pop that if you wanted. I really like it. Okay, that's it for today. And I'll see you next week, and we'll be doing final labels for class number 9.